After enduring the tempests of life, Tien finally found solace in the embrace of Jack. Together, they built a modest home, not grand or lavish, but brimming with warmth and joy. Their house stood amidst a lush green garden, where Tien lovingly nurtured vegetables, each sprout a reminder of her resilience and the trials she had overcome. Each morning, Jack would rise before dawn to prepare breakfast, the rhythmic chopping of vegetables and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee blending harmoniously with the morning birdsong. As sunlight filtered through the curtains, Tien would gently stir, wrapping her arms around Jack from behind and pressing a tender kiss to his cheek. Their mornings were filled with soft laughter and whispered dreams over steaming bowls of porridge. Though Jack remained dedicated to his work in construction, he never let it overshadow his love for Tien. He carved out time for evening strolls, movie nights, and heart-to-heart conversations. Tien, once fragile and uncertain, had blossomed into a strong, independent woman. With unwavering determination, she delved into traditional medicine under her father's guidance, eventually establishing herself as a compassionate healer. Under Tien's devoted care, Mr. Hoy and Jack's Oriental Medicine Clinic flourished. She became her father's steadfast companion in healing, listening intently to each patient's suffering and tirelessly seeking the best treatments. Her kindness and dedication made her beloved in the community, a beacon of hope to those in need. Mrs. Lai, Jack's mother, cherished Tien as her own daughter. She enveloped her with love and unwavering support, frequently visiting with thoughtful gifts and heartfelt advice. Her presence filled their home with warmth, making her an irreplaceable part of their growing family. Their happiness deepened when Tien and Jack welcomed their first child into the world. The tiny bundle of joy became the heart of their family, binding them even closer. Mrs. Lai and Mr. Hu adored their grandchild, showering them with affection and filling the house with laughter and bedtime stories. Weekends were sacred, reserved for picnics beneath towering trees, cozy bonfire gatherings, and quiet evenings spent cooking together. Jack and Tien also devoted themselves to charitable endeavors, extending kindness to those less fortunate. They understood that love was not just something to cherish, but to share. Yet, life had more trials in store. One fateful day, Tien clutched her stomach in agony, her face ashen. Panic surged through Jack as he rushed her to the hospital. After a whirlwind of tests, the doctor delivered the diagnosis: acute appendicitis. She needed immediate surgery. During the procedure, the doctors made a startling discovery: a small tumor nestled in her ovaries. They performed a biopsy, and the results sent shockwaves through the family. The tumor was malignant. The news struck Tien like a cruel storm, robbing her of breath, drowning her in despair. Yet, Jack and Mrs. Lai never left her side, their unwavering support her anchor in the raging tide. As Tien battled her illness, Tone, an old friend, visited frequently, bringing small gifts and words of encouragement. His concern touched her, but her heart belonged only to Jack. Then came another revelation, one that shook her world even further. A routine blood test revealed a shocking truth. Her blood type did not match Mr. Hoy's. A DNA test confirmed the unthinkable: he was not her biological father. The revelation shattered Mr. Hoy's heart. He had spent his life loving and raising Tien as his own, only to learn that fate had played a cruel trick on them. Despite the pain, Tien remained grateful, cherishing the love he had given her. With Jack's steadfast support, she embarked on a journey to find her true origins. Months of searching led her to a humble farming couple who had lost their child years ago. Their reunion was a moment of bittersweet joy. Tears flowed freely as they embraced, years of separation melting away in an instant. Now, Tien had not one but two families who loved her unconditionally. Yet, before she could fully bask in the warmth of this newfound love, she had to confront her greatest challenge: cancer. The chemotherapy sessions were grueling, each treatment a test of her spirit. But through it all, Jack remained her rock, his love an unyielding force that carried her through the darkest days. After a long and arduous battle, Tien triumphed. The disease may have tested her, but it never broke her. With renewed strength, she and Jack returned to their peaceful life, raising their child with love and gratitude. They frequently visited her biological parents, forging bonds that time had once stolen from them. Meanwhile, Tien, a wealthy and kind-hearted CEO, watched from afar. He had once been saved by Tien during a fateful accident, and in her, he had found a love he could never have. Though his heart ached for her, he respected her choices, choosing instead to stand by as a loyal friend. Tien was not one to harbor resentment. Instead, he admired Jack, valuing their friendship above all else. Though unrequited, his love for Tien remained pure, a testament to the man he was. Surviving cancer changed Tien's outlook on life. She cherished each moment, embracing simplicity and the love that surrounded her. Jack expanded his work in construction, while she continued her healing practice, her heart filled with purpose. Jack was not only a devoted husband, but also a loving father. He spent countless hours teaching their child about kindness and integrity. Mrs. Lai continued to be a pillar of support, and even Tien would visit, bringing small gifts for their son. But life had one more lesson in store for Tien. One day, he received heartbreaking news. His mother, the formidable woman who had raised him, had fallen gravely ill. Realizing how precious time was, he devoted himself to caring for her, reflecting on what truly mattered in life. In a tender moment, Tien's mother confessed her gratitude to Tien, but also mused that had Tien chosen him, she might have lived a more prosperous life. Tien simply smiled and said, "Happiness is not measured by wealth, but by the love we share with those around us." Tien stood in silence, her words settling in his heart. At last, he understood. True love was not about possession, but about selflessness. Letting go was not a loss, but a sign of profound love. As time passed, fate led Tien to cross paths with Zhang once more. The woman who had once loved him had changed, no longer fragile, no longer lost. She had built a life of her own, radiating confidence and strength. Their reunion felt like destiny rewriting its script, offering Tien a new chapter. Meanwhile, as their son grew older, Jack and Tien dreamed of new beginnings. Jack envisioned expanding into financial investments, hoping to support struggling businesses. With unwavering faith in her husband, Tien encouraged him, even as she dedicated herself to healing others. At night, they would sit side by side, hands intertwined, speaking of dreams yet to be realized. It no longer mattered whether they succeeded or failed. What mattered was that they had each other, walking forward together, forever bound by love.